In this last section on conceptual modeling, we're going to look at faces inside Revit. We'll do that with the neighboring buildings. I have a couple of mass family objects that we're going to add to this model. Let's go to the site view. The site view is basically a plan view inside Revit that has a very high view range. So you can check out the view range of any view. That's basically where in the model that this view is cutting the model. So this is a parameter in any plan view. You can go down to extents, the parameter group extents, and check out the view range. For any site view, this is normally going to be a pretty high number. So basically you're cutting the model 300 meters above ground and looking down at it. And this is a pretty good way to have a plan view looking at everything, basically. So inside this view, I'm going to go back to the massing in site. I'm going to go place mass, and I'm going to go load family because I won't put another form family inside this model. I will go load family and then back to the references folder and find a file called new construction. That's basically all the new buildings that are planned for this particular site. So let's load this into the project, and I'm going to place it at the same place. So like in this origin point where I have an intersection between my my grid line and the horizontal reference plane, like so. Perfect. Let's go again, load family, back to the same folder. I'll load another file called the existing RFA, which is the Revit family object for existing buildings that are currently on site. So same procedure. I place it at the origin, and now in my 3D view, I can open this 3D view and see that this here, the existing buildings are located like so, and the new constructions are based around the building that I'm looking at right like this way. So one thing you can do with Revit is you can assign different faces to elements. And this is a pretty simple example, but I think it will show you how this works. So basically, any view has a facing setting, and any element inside Revit has a facing setting. So all the elements that I've modeled, all the mass floors and the mass and everything, that's put automatically on a face called new construction. You can basically look at that here. If I exclude options, I click on the mass, you'll see that it has a phasing parameter group, face created, new construction. It's never going to be demolished. So basically, you have a parameter called face created, face demolished. And whatever face you put on each of these will determine if it's a temporary or demolish or new construction. It's going to be or existing element. So basically now we can click on this parameter, this family called existing, and then change its face created to existing. Okay, so now it turned sort of like diffuse gray color lines and solid. And that's connected to some display overrides that are connected to faces. And these being new construction elements, we're going to keep on face created new construction. Basically means that these buildings are going to be constructed at the same time as this tower that we just built. So now with these parameter values for the different mass families, we can go into our view and then change the way that this view is displaying faces. Basically, any view also has a facing group of parameters, and you can change the filters and the face of the actual view. So if I change the face filter to show complete, this will show now, based on the face parameter in this view, which is new construction, it will show the finished product. How is this site going to look when this entire project is finished? If I change the view face to existing, it will only show everything that is existing, which is complete at the face existing. Let's change that back to new construction. I'm going to change the view filter to none. Will basically show everything regardless of faces. So I can also go and use some other filter, show previous plus demo, for instance, it will show my existing buildings with a graphic override. If you want to check out the graphic overrides of faces, I suggest you go to the Manage tab, where you have the facing dialog box here positioned to the right of your Revit user interface. The overrides here, I'm not going to go into detail here, but here you can basically check out what's making this like gray solid and whatever not. So let's change this back to show complete. I personally like that face filter, and just keep the view on new construction, like so. And that concludes everything on conceptual massing and faces and filters and schedules and everything. And let's proceed to some more detailed modeling inside Revit.